when times are good, no one wants to accept that they could be bad and that something bad is coming. And it's as soon as the bad time comes, you look back and think, oh my God, I should have seen that coming. You've been predicting these for years.
In fact, in 2008, with me on CNN saying Lehman Brothers was going down. And when I was on CNN saying Lehman Brothers was going down, Wolf Blitzer, the commentator, says, you don't know what you're talking about. And 6 months later, Lehman Brothers is gone. For some people, it was the worst thing that ever happened to them. But for myself and my friends, we made fortunes.
In a recession, being unprepared can leave you shivering. It's like getting caught without warm clothes when winter hits. But just like we get ready for cold weather by stocking up on cozy stuff, there are things we can do to handle tough times in the economy and even come out stronger. Right now, we're already in a tough spot, but don't worry, there are ways to protect yourself and do well during these times. That's what we'll talk about today. Before we dive into that, let's talk about what a recession is and why interest rates are going up. We'll also clear up some confusing financial stuff you might have heard about recently. Basically, a recession happens when there's a big drop in how much money everyone's making for more than a few months, according to the United States. Or, as the European Union says, it's when the GDP either stays the same or goes down for at least 2 quarters. Let me simplify it. Step 1 is wrapping our heads around inflation. Inflation hits when too much money gets printed too fast. For example, during tough times like COVID, spending suddenly slows down. This is a problem because when the economy isn't making money, people can't earn. And when they can't earn, they can't buy stuff like cars, hit up restaurants, or even cover housing costs. To try reviving the economy, the government pumped out a bunch of cash as stimulus checks. But here's the hitch. The more money printed, the less each dollar's worth. Now, loads of companies pull a sneaky move called shrinkflation. Check this. This brand tweaked how much they pour into their bottles. Looks the same, feels the same, but you're getting less liquid. They're charging the same, but giving you less. Sneaky, huh? This happens with tons of things. Less chips in the bag, smaller drinks. Companies use shrinkflation to hide price hikes while giving you less for your money. When inflation goes up, your dollar doesn't buy as much stuff. To handle that, the government might hike interest rates. They hope this makes folks spend less. At the same time, they and the banks might increase savings account rates, hoping people will save more. Now, when inflation hits, the GDP, the total value of everything sold in a country, can slow down. For instance, if you sell cars, that adds to your country's GDP. But if folks delay buying cars due to high interest rates, the GDP drops because people save more instead of spending. When the GDP growth hits 0 or goes negative for 2 quarters in a row, that's a sign. Yeah, it's pretty clear we're in a recession. There are tons of factors at play, especially in a complex one like this. I won't dig too deep into all that, just gonna give you the basics you need. But before we proceed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned till the end of this video to learn more about what this means for you. So we're at the start of a recession. How am I getting ready? And where does minimalism fit in? First off, I'm making sure I've got an emergency fund. If you haven't sorted this yet, it's super important, especially right now. That's like setting aside cash to cover your living expenses for a while, maybe 1 to 6 months worth. I'm aiming for about 6 months worth to cover rent, utilities, food, everything. This way, if something big happens, I won't end up in debt. It's about being prepared, recession or not. Having enough so that if my car breaks down or there's a medical emergency, I don't rely on credit cards and get stuck in bad debt. That's crucial. Lately, I've been on an extreme saving spree, really analyzing every penny I spend and cutting out stuff that doesn't add joy or value to my life. Plus, eating at home more, trying out some frugal recipes. Once you've sorted out the essentials and trimmed expenses, the next move is tackling any credit card debt. With interest rates going up, paying that off is crucial. It's going to get tougher with those rates climbing, so wiping that debt is important. You'll need that money for steps later in the video that can make a huge difference in your life. but big credit card debt, it'll hold you back. Now, after setting up the emergency fund, saving, and tackling debt, it's time to boost income. Personally, I'm diving into a couple of side gigs, more YouTube videos. Maybe you've seen some? Dabbling in acting and a few other projects. I actually shared ways I'm making and saving money in this other video if you want to check it out later. Making money from a side hustle doesn't have to be massive, but if you can maintain your current living and rake in some extra cash, it's a game changer for the next steps. Now, here's a bit of a twist. When around 99% of stocks are probably taking a nosedive, there's an opportunity. Since you're ready for any financial curveballs, any extra funds you have can be used to buy stocks and other assets at discounted prices. While everyone else is freaking out and selling to cover needs, you, in a solid financial spot, can swoop in and buy at those cheaper rates. It's like slowly putting money into the market regardless of its ups and downs, a strategy known as dollar cost averaging. Instead of trying to time the market like most folks do, continuously investing is a smart move. You can even set up automatic contributions, even if it's a small sum every month, to dollar cost average your way in. Now, if you're diving into stocks, consider the 90-10 rule. Put 90% of your buying power into low-cost index funds like VTI or the S&P 500. This spreads your investment across the market. The other 10%? Go for short-term government bonds. Most recessions, like the one we might be in, usually stick around for a few years. If you're constantly glued to the market, trying to time buys and sells, chances are you'll make mistakes. Long-term thinking is key here, not chasing quick profits. When the market eventually rebounds, the folks in it for the long haul will likely see more upside than those who jumped in during the good times. Fine art might seem out of reach, but as an asset, it's outperformed the S&P 500 for the past 26 years. I stumbled upon a platform called MasterWorks. They've delivered an average of 29% returns to their investors, selling paintings like one that earned a 33% return last month. I couldn't drop millions on art, but I diversified by investing in a Picasso and a few other paintings through them. Fine art is one of the most attractive and profitable forms of alternative investment, especially during a recession. According to a report by Citi Private Bank and Art Market Research, fine art has outperformed the S&P 500 by an average of 174% from 1995 to 2020. Fine art can also offer diversification, hedging, and aesthetic benefits to investors who are looking for ways to preserve and grow their wealth in uncertain times. However, investing in fine art can also be challenging as it requires a lot of capital, expertise, access, and liquidity. The traditional way of investing in fine art is to buy and sell artworks through galleries, dealers, or auction houses, which can involve high fees, commissions, taxes, and risks. Moreover, the art market can be volatile, subjective, and opaque, making it difficult to assess the value and performance of artworks. Fortunately, there are new and innovative ways to invest in fine art that can overcome some of these barriers and make art more accessible and affordable to a wider range of investors. One of these ways is to use a platform like MasterWorks, which allows investors to buy and sell shares of blue-chip artworks by famous artists like Picasso, Warhol, Basquiat, and more. MasterWorks is the first and only platform that lets anyone invest in fractional ownership of multi-million-dollar paintings with a minimum investment of $1,000. MasterWorks claims to have delivered an average of 29% returns to its investors, based on the appraised value of its artworks and the trading activity on its secondary market. Some of the artworks that MasterWorks has sold or offered include a painting by Claude Monet titled Coupe de Vent, which was acquired for $6.9 million in 2017 and sold for $9.4 million in 2021, generating a 33% return for the investors. A painting by Pablo Picasso titled Fiat au Beret, which was acquired for $3.3 million in 2018 and offered for $4.8 million in 2021, implying a 45% return for the investors. A painting by Andy Warhol titled One Colored Marilyn, Reversal Series, which was acquired for $2.4 million in 2017 and offered for $4.2 million in 2021, implying a 75% return for the investors. MasterWorks is not the only platform that offers fractional art investing, but it is the most established and reputable one. With over 250,000 members and over $300 million in assets under management, MasterWorks also has a team of experts and advisors who have decades of experience and connections in the art world, and who use data and analytics to select and value the artworks. MasterWorks also provides educational resources and insights to help investors learn more about the art market and make informed decisions. For deeper financial insights, subscribe to WealthMap. Thank you for joining us on this journey of learning. Until next time, remember to begin with small steps, dream big, and stay financially empowered as you shape your future.